The will they, won't they Elon Twitter saga continues. Elon Musk wants out of this deal. He is not playing this time. On Friday, he said the $44 billion deal was over because Twitter violated parts of their merger agreement. Musk also claimed that Twitter made false and misleading representations. We've talked about that. In a filing, his lawyers said that since entering the agreement, Twitter fired several high-ranking executives, and they refused to respond to multiple requests for details about these fake accounts and bots. Twitter's chairman pledged to take legal maneuvers to ensure the agreement goes through.
Elon should do this all for this. This is one reason. He is going to lose his cleaning deposit. And his cleaning deposit is $1 billion. That's the cleaning deposit.
Oh, my God.
Like he went.
You never get those back.
No.
Yeah, if Twitter was an RV, you just went and secured it for the 4th of July and then backed out at the end. And they went, well, we're keeping the deposit. But that deposit is $1 billion.
Oofa.
So now you go, well, that's got to sting. But here's
really on
see, this
Musk.
is the beautiful. Here's what everyone wants to say. That guy lost $1 billion. So I'd say, Jeremy Piven just lost $1 billion. And then everyone would go, that doesn't mean shit to him. And that makes you the most successful person in the world.
You're still the richest guy in the world.
That's money.
You stock could shift and make another $4 billion or lose another $10 billion or whatever. But everyone going, $1 billion, that's not shit to him. That's what you want people saying about you.
So you're saying it was premeditated, this whole thing?
They don't.
Can you
He
imagine?
wanted to lose it.
There's a lot of different thoughts about why he did this, and is it crazy like a fox? He's going to crash Twitter stock prices? Did he want to do that? Did he actually want it? There's a lot of different thoughts about why he did it.
Just being like a maniacal genius.
He's going to be on the hook for $1 billion.
Wow.
It's basically a deposit.
Yeah.
A $1 billion deposit.
So Twitter just made $1 billion for nothing, for doing nothing.
Right, except for their stock price is going to go down a lot. And that they may lose that $1 billion in stock.
Maybe he'll just pay him in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Dogecoin.
Gotta hurry.
Yeah, he's worth like $238 billion.
I thought it was more than that.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
That's where we're at right now.
Yeah. So
He's going to land on his
nothing
feet.
for him.
Yeah. $1 billion. $1 billion practical joke.
I left when I was at one of my poorest states, renting a house in La Crescenta. I went to an ATM. I would frequently go to an ATM that was on Foothill in La Crescenta, and I knew I had a 20. I knew it was good for 120. I had $20 in the bank with my ATM card, and I could get it. But the charge for the ATM was $1.
Can't get it.
And I didn't have $21.
No.
I said 20 and 50 cents or something. And it's like, no. But one time I went there, and it was the kind of thing sometimes where you'd pull the card out first, and then you'd wait, and then the money would come out. I somehow left $40 in there. I was devastated.
You got to kill yourself.
I was destroyed. I was like,
Where do you go from
I
there?
remember just sitting at home, just staring at a wall.
Yeah.
Do you ever think about that just for a little perspective when you start to get bitchy about funds?
I was forced to in this moment, but but I should put a little rubber band around my cuff and snap it, because yes, I remember leaving cash in the ATM and just being distraught. I remember like getting home and going, oh shit, there's turned around and hightailed gone.
That'll ruin your month.
Yeah. When I first moved here, I was down to my last $40 and used it to fill up my tank, and I put the money in, and I came back and I'm like, what the fuck? It's not moving. Gave him the wrong number, like it said count, like tank 7 instead of 6.
You fill up someone else's car?
Yeah. I was apoplectic.
Yeah.
It was the fucking worst. It's nice not to be there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's talk about this woman who has we've never heard of her except for this, has gone viral over the weekend. A pregnant woman sparked this national debate after she got a ticket for driving in the HOV lane on the highway, claiming that she was traveling with 2 people since she's 34 weeks pregnant. So let me have her explain. Here's a clip of her telling what happened and how the cop reacted.
Officer said, okay, well, you're in an HOV lane. And I said, yes. And he said, great. Is there somebody else in the car? And looking around, I said, well, yes, there is. And he said, well, where? As he's peeking in the car, and I pointed to my stomach. I was like, we're right here. And he said, well, it's 2 bodies outside of the body, so that doesn't count.
2 passengers behind the steering wheel. That's illegal. Haul her to the post.
That's right.
Well, Brandy Batone, she told also the Daily Morning News that she didn't believe the state should have it both ways. As the Texas Penal Code recognizes an unborn child as a person, she now has to hire an attorney, take it to court in July, and good for her. She goes, she goes, given the Roe v. Wade situation, how does this not count? I'm not even taking a political side. She said, if I'm taking a stance, it's pro-woman. Which one is it? Is this a person? Is this not a person?
Well, all right. Separate thought as I was crawling up the 405, because as Brian and I always lament, people go 28 miles an hour slower uphill than they do downhill, even though
Are they running up it?
small pedal under your right foot. You just depress it at 5/16 of an inch and make up for the grade. But they always. And then there's the fucking diamond lane. Mm-hmm. And I realized because we have the diamond lane, the person in the left lane doesn't think they're in the fast lane. They think they're in the one next to the fast lane that we don't qualify for. So the person in the left lane, not the diamond,
Just
the one next to it, is crawling up the fucking 405, and everyone is pulling out and going around them. Can we get people in that left? Can we first decide that left lane is the fast lane when there is a diamond lane, and you must hustle in that lane?
I don't think there's any debate.
I'd be okay with that.
Well, there was amongst this
confusion.
slow driving campers in front of me. Then also, the spirit of the law versus the letter of the law. I guess the idea with the HOV lane is you're carpooling with a coworker or whatever. So I get it. This may be a bridge too far. The bigger question is with people being injured, like getting their nose broken by airbags and stuff. You got your big pregnant fetus like right in front of that fucking steering wheel. That airbag goes off.
Has to have happened
baby's
many
coming
times.
out.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that how it works?
That's how it
It's like backing
It
over the toothpaste.
Oh my God, I never thought of it that way.
Should probably be a rule against
No driving?
Well, geez, you can shut the airbag off.
But that's not safe.
I don't think you can shut it off on the driver's side.
Oh.
But you can do it maybe on the passenger side. But I'm just saying, if you're really presenting as pregnant and the wheels, you're short lady, short arms, wheel down low, boom. And then pretty soon we're going to have airbag babies like we have, what is it? Like
Anchor baby?
No. Well, we have anchor babies.
That's a thing.
I know.
No, there was a fluoridamide or whatever.
Thalidomide.
Thalidomide babies.
Thalidomide.
Like we're gonna have that guy, and we're gonna be Jeremy. You're gonna show up to some workplace, and some older guy with a little drool, and he's gonna be trying to get the hefty bag back into the can, and you're gonna go, what's up with that guy? Airbag baby. When he was before he was born, his mom got in a fender bender and the airbag went off. And
He's bagging your groceries.
he lives, he's happy.
It's not to get those people, jobs.
They have a home for airbag babies. He lives there. They take care of themselves. He's able to work, but he can't. You know
what? Good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Someone dispenses his medication.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's an airbag baby. We're gonna have him. Oh, mark my words.
No, they're marked. Well, let's move on to a couple of stories of how well things are going in both LA and San Francisco. You probably didn't know the name Kim Glass before the weekend, I'm assuming, but she is an Olympian, a volleyball Olympian. I'm sure your daughter knows who she is. She won a silver medal at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. She said she was attacked by a homeless man in LA this weekend and nearly lost her eye in the incident. I'll have her explain it, but Glass said it all happened Saturday. She was walking, leaving lunch at a restaurant, and in a series of videos she posted on Instagram, she said she left the restaurant, she noticed a man in the street, kind of crazy looking, something in his hand.
You know what she looks like? Airbag baby.
Oh, Brian, God damn it.
Could have been.
She said the guy was looking unstable, and before she knew it, there was this metal object he was holding, and it fucking pelted her in the face, her eye socket, her nose, and here's what she had to say.
And he just like looked at me.
Badly
with some
bruised.
pretty
Eye
painful
closed.
eyes. I do have multiple fractures up here and a small one here.
Hit across the face with a pipe.
Guys, just be safe out there because you keep your head in a swivel off your phones. I mean, mine wasn't, but it's still, I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
I guess they caught the 51-year-old man and with a felony assault, deadly weapon, not given bail. But I will say about this. You got to be gorgeous if that happens to you and it's obvious that you're still hot.
Yeah,
like it's
her
obvious
hotness
she's hot.
shine through.
Yeah.
That's your take on the story?
Yeah, that's my
she
takeaway.
did look hot.
Real lack of empathy there, Jeremy.
Wow, interesting.
Look, crazy people on the street with weapons. I don't know how this is going to have a fucking happy ending. I mean, you're insane. And again, we hear all about the crimes where the Crips and the Bloods and that kid got shot and it was for payback because of the shooting at the park during the Crips barbecue. And it's like there's a part of us that has a contact. Nobody likes it, but we go, I'm not a Crip or Blood. I'm just not going to get in any turf wars with anybody. But we're all going to go out to eat.
Yeah,
and then we're all going
randomly
to walk out of the restaurant and try to walk to our cars. And we're scattered with homeless people. Also, there's another major part of this homeless problem that no one really ever addresses, which is there's like homeless people camped out, flopped out, passed out, sort of sleeping, just kind of stairwells and commercial parking structures or just in alleys or in between buildings and stuff. And you're having to walk past them. And remember that weird anxiety you'd have like when you had a roommate and you'd be like, fuck, I gotta go in. I want to get that guy shampoo, but he's asleep, but like that thing where you'd like open the door and you'd like, and so you were so on edge because you want to go like, dude, what's up? Or whatever. Yeah. I walk through the streets kind of not wanting to wake up homeless people that are passed out. Like I'll be like, don't talk so loud. The guy's trying to sleep over here in this potted plant. Yeah. Like there's a weird general, and then also a kind of, what is this person who's talking to themselves doing as we pass them on the sidewalk? Might they ball up their fist and like, should I walk out into the street and give them a wide berth? But then how do they feel about me walking around them?
Well, I'm really glad you asked that because I want to make sure we get to this since this is sort of a bundle deal. Let's move up to San Francisco real quick. They have a new district attorney that is promising to do something about some of this, which would be nice because this random guy, Ricky Wynn, went viral on Friday after posting a video to Twitter getting off a bus that dozens of kids get off at this stop for school. The stop was just riddled with what looked like just homeless drug addicts all over the place. And the kids just have no thoughts about it. They're not scared. They're just so used to it. They just soldier on. Let me show you a clip of how bad things are getting. Have gotten.
Home safe.
Little kids.
Kids, junkies scattered everywhere.
Come on, man.
It's dystopian. And we're looking at just what I described.
These little kids got to walk through this shit. This shit is crazy.
So for the leaders, they were called the DA Chesa Bowden, and he's been replaced by this woman, Brooke Jenkins, who's touted herself as tough on crime. So we'll see.
Okay, first off, I say it every week. Why do we have to bottom out?
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, why does the relationship have to get to the point where the ex is throwing all my clothing into a bathtub and set it on fire? What about a little counseling 4 months earlier before it gets to the set the house on fire moment? Like, why does everything in politics, especially, San Francisco, LA? Okay. We've been talking about this shit for a decade. Why does the person have to get hit with the pipe in the face after coming back from the Olympics? Why do the poor kids have to be? It's been a decade. Can we move on it, or we just have to fucking flat out bottom out? Just humanity scattered in the streets and fentanyl everywhere and people defecating on the street.
And at what point is bottoming out?
Right.
Every time you see something, well, that's it.
It can't get worse.
Then there's something else.
Yes, go ahead. And it's not a fucking hate crime to clean up the streets.
Yeah,
and
Let kids go to
See
school
these people
safely.
crouched over, shitting on themselves, being psychotic. Are you doing them any favors? This weird free range approach to life we've decided on?
San Francisco's been like that for what it feels like longer than LA's been like that. But maybe that's because in downtown LA, that's where a lot of homeless are right now. So
Right.
we don't see them. So it always felt like San Francisco had a worse problem than we did, but we have no idea.
It's
Well,
just
we-
more concentrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
They're saying.
did the ribbon cutting of Skid Row in 1963, which somebody should have went. We have a place called Skid Row. Yeah. So it's next to the Forum or the
charming.
Staples Center, or the big financial centers over there. Yeah, well, what goes on Skid Row? It's people hit the skids over there. They do slam a lot of drugs. They rape each other, and they fashion knives out of windshield wipers. Okay, I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't sign off on the concept of Skid Row. Maybe we got pretty used to the concept of Skid Row for decades. Like Skid Row was it was a great band. It was just, I grew up, when I grew up out here, I was in the San Fernando Valley. It's like, you hit those books, you're going to end up on Skid Row. That's, 1977, Skid Row's.
Did LA come up with the term Skid Row?
I don't know the origins or the date or the Mayor Tom Bradley cut the ribbon in 1973. Wow. We had Skid Row. We probably should have won. Why the fuck are there several city blocks in Los Angeles of all places? Again, a stone's throw away from the garment industry and jewelry and Alvera Street. So why did we decide to just have this shit box of a place that people went to OD and fight amongst one another? So we signed off on it. And then at some point, Skid Row started to franchise a little bit.
It became Skid Grid.
Right. And then so what we started doing is all right, well, those guys have opened shop across the street and they're spreading out a little like we did with Starbucks, like, oh, now there's one up the street. But the concept was there, and now it just seems like it's spread out. It's franchised. But no, it was never a good idea. Would have been nice to intervene back in the day, and now let's just fucking fix it.
I mean, here's this, I'm a dummy, but a basic idea. You can't even go in for a job interview if you don't have a P.O. box, right?
Right.
It's just basic stuff. Why can't we just start with some basics so that people can start, attempting to find work? I mean,
well, the problem with the problem is we're working under we labeled it homeless or previously housed. And so then the plan would be to get them a home, an address, a P.O. box, or whatever. It's a mislabeling of the problem. The problem is every one of these people are junkies and they're psychotic and they need to be taken care of. And, a home, that's the least of their worries. They need to get off of whatever they're on. And we've waged this war about the face of homelessness isn't a drug-addled, psychotic. And it's like, many. You look at that motley crew of the kids when they got out of the school bus. How many of those folks look like folks that got shit canned from the factory job 3 weeks ago? We're just trying to have a go of it because they wore out their welcome on their brother-in-law's sofa. Those are fucking junkies, and it's the politicians that are constantly trying to relabel it as. So you go, oh, they're without a home, and then we go, we need a bond to build low-cost housing. They don't want the shelter beds. They want to do drugs, and you're not welcome in the shelter if you're doing drugs. So they would rather do drugs and live in the street than go inside and not do drugs and have the shelter.
This is a conversation that probably would take a couple hours, though.
No, this is an easy fix.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Fair enough. There's a lot to unpack, so I don't know. I don't know how much time you guys have. I mean, it's my good God Almighty, I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Well, let me ask this hypothetical that happened to me today. Chris, what year do you think Skid Row, the term, came up? Now, the band Skid Row's from named themselves in 85, so it's got to get back to that. You guys tell me this.
Yeah.
Tell me what you would have done.
Yeah.
I had a thing in Santa Monica today. I was earlier. I got off the 10. I was pulling out, and there was a homeless guy, and he had the cardboard sign. So now there's different stratas of homeless. There's, in your own filth rolling around on the street. And then there's I've put the sign together and I pulled up right next to him and I was waiting for the signal to turn. And he had a sign that said, I'm deaf. Could you help? It was like a 55-year-old guy. And I looked at him and my impulse was to honk the horn. And if he jumped, I was going to go, fuck you.
How very Mike Brady of you.
Call his bluff.
Remember that one? He drops the briefcase in the courtroom?
Yeah. That was Coogan. That was Uncle
was?
Fester.
Oh, shit.
Jackie Coogan. Who,
Like the Coogan Law.
yeah.
Wow.
Who played the role of the guy who was suing them.
With the neck bracelet.
Right. But I was going to honk the horn. And if he jumped, I was getting no money from me. But if he just remained still,
Still the money.
then still no money. But
But you look around to make sure no one saw you not give him money after that. By the way, that has to be a bit. You have to work. That should be
I
a
was
bit
laughing to myself, thinking this would be I thought to myself, this would be funny. Ari Gold would do this in Entourage, the movie, right?
Right.
And or it'd be a Curb Your Enthusiasm
Right.
type thing. We don't know if you're deaf. You just wrote it on a piece of cardboard, but we're going to find out.
Someone would have seen Larry not give him the money.
Right after, and then he would have been. He jumped.
Right.
And he would. Yes. All right. Let
me tell you about Skid Row.
Yeah, Skid Row.
I have
please.
something here. I don't know, Chris. Okay.
Chris has it. Or you.
This might be the same source. It says in the 1930s, at the height of the Great Depression, the term Skid Row was widely used to describe certain areas or neighborhoods of many U.S. cities and towns where those who had fallen on hard times went in poverty and despair.
Oh, we didn't
during the
coin it
Depression.
here.
No, it actually it looks like it originated in the Northwest, like Seattle, Vancouver area. It's an old logging term, Skid Road.
Oh.
But I feel like we hung on to ours because
We did, yeah, because Skid Row in Seattle was in the city's Pioneer Square.
No, it's Seattle because if you think about Eddie Vedder, freezing, rests his head on a pillow made of concrete.
Oh, there you
go.
Yeah.
Wait, that's the lyric?
That's
Yeah.
the lyric.
Amazing.
That's the lyric, if you can
Wow.
believe it. Because a lot of times Eddie, he sounds amazing, but you can't quite.
Can articulate it?
Not really.
Yeah.
It just sounds like.
Yeah,
Like
no,
if-
but I disagree because I know every word from Freezing Joe. I love that song. Or Even Flow, as you know.
Even there you go.
That's good.
I was making your point.
That's good.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is other places have gotten rid of their Skid Row, but
I
we
think so.
seem to
We're married
keep
to
ours
it.
going. All right, are we bringing it home?
We'll bring it home. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Unbeknownst to me, I used to suck.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Well, last but not least, there's concrete. Oh, this stuff is good. Just a little scoop in your water in the morning, and I'll tell you about creatine. Your body needs creatine. Your body makes about half of what it needs, and then the rest comes from your diet, but most American diets are low in creatine-rich foods. Concrete patented creatine. HCl is the favorite creatine of elite, well-informed athletes, the number one bioavailable creatine and the only microdosing creatine. Just one small scoop for every 100 pounds of your body weight, and you're Bob's your uncle. Creatine is required for functional energy, and every cell your brain uses about 20% of the creatine in your body. So let's get it into your system with Concrete. Right, Dawson?
Take control of your health, both body and mind. Build and better you with Concrete. Register now at concrete.com/podcast. That's CON-CRET.com/podcast for a chance to win a $500 Walmart Visa gift card. Available now online and in-store at Walmart. Concrete is truly life-changing and performance-enhancing.
And we're going to be doing live pods in Springfield, Missouri at Blue Room Comedy Club. That'll be this Friday and Saturday. Live pod there. And then the late show is going to be stand-up. And speaking of stand-up, Jeremy Piven, Irvine Improv, July 15th and 16th, this Friday, Saturday. As well as Zany's coming up in Nashville. And there's films coming out. Where should people go? They go and check out your podcast. Shoot them a tweet at Jeremy Piven, just like it sounds. And Vinny Tortorich, Beyond Impossible, his doc. You can check that out. And it's Pure Vitamin Company, it's Pure Vitamin Club and Coffee Club. And
it's time
Jeremy.
to do some creatine, right, Adam?
That's
Let's
right.
Let's do some creatine.
Let's do some right now. So, until next time, Adam Carolla for Vinny Tortorich, Jeremy Piven, and Gina Grant and Bob Bryan saying, Mahala. The son or the daughter who was in college would be pissed, would go, my family with their perfect mansion and their perfect car collection are perfectly miserable. And then all us poor people in the audience would stand up and cheer. Yeah, see? You can't buy happiness. I told you. I snuck into this theater, but it cannot be bought.